Guess it don't matter who we are. But I'm not the one you think I am. I'm not the one you need. We all need some place to go. We all need to be free. So they make their way across the great divide, heading for that west coast, just trying to survive. They keep on dreaming, 'cause they can't surpass stars. Guess it don't matter where you are. But I'm not the one you think I am. I'm not the one you need. We all need some place to go. We all need to be free. Sometimes in this world, things they don't work out. We'll keep on trying. Guess that's what life's about. Just keep on dreaming, and you can't surpass the stars. Guess it don't matter who you are. I'm not the one you think I am. I'm not the one you need. We all need some place to go. We all need to be free. Yeah.
Let's see if this thing still works. Can everybody hear me out there okay? It's been a hot minute since I've done this shit here. Everything seemed to be working when I turned it all on. So, oh, look, it's me over there on that screen. So evidently it's going live. Did I get Charlie into talked into coming? He's the one to talk me into doing this show. But no, he's not going to be here. He said he's listening though, so everybody give him a big finger, even though he can't hear us or he can't see us. Well, he might be able to see me. I don't know. So if you're watching, Charlie, love you, brother. Anyhow, on with the show. Let me jump over here to my Skypey thingy, and I have never worked on the ring thing, so we're gonna have to deal with the ring. Here we go. Everybody get into it. Come on. Hey, he answered right off the bat. What's up, David? Hello? Oh, and he hung up on me. Okay. We'll see if he adds back in here. You got 3 responders. Oh, shit. I forgot to turn that off. We might have to deal with that. Well, let me go down here and try Lance. Boink. Come on, Lance. There he is.
Hello.
Hey, that one worked. Okay, now let me jump back to the other. Let me try to get David added in here.
Hello.
Hello. All right, can you hear me, Lance? Lance. I could hear them. They should be able to hear me. Yeah. Oh shit. Let's try this again. I don't have anything muted.
Hello?
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Hey, right on. It worked.
Yeah, man.
Okay, now let me try to add David. How the fuck do I do this? More options. No, that's not it. Here we go. Add person. David. Add. Okay, now it's ringing for Dave. It's been a minute since we did this, man, but it's all working like a champ. Except for David hung up on me, and then you hung up on me. But when I called you back, you answered. So
Yeah,
it's all working.
Oh, there's Dave.
There's Dave. Can you hear me, Dave?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Right on. Hey, we're gonna have a fucking show, everybody. How about that shit? Okay. Right off the bat, man.
You called me. It looked like you called and you hung up on me.
You hung up on me. I have witnesses. They're all in chat over there. You
Oh,
hung
well,
up
I
on
didn't
me.
push
I was
any
saying,
buttons.
hello, David.
I hung up on him too, though.
I just pushed the answer button, and all of a sudden it went on, then it went off.
Yeah. Yeah, but we're all here now, so let's celebrate.
Or maybe I'm too baked. I don't know.
That ain't a bad thing. That ain't a bad thing. Oh, speaking of bake, before we get into the show, I gotta show it. Lance, this is my Christmas present from Lance. If you guys can all see that. Okay. It's very inconspicuous. It's heavy. You know, it's not but this is the coolest. So you slide it up a little bit, and you got the little guy there, right? And that's your little burn hole for when you want to throw a flame on it. And then if you want to open it all the way up, you open it all the way up. But it's super simple to clean. You just take that off and take this, and
That's
Bob's
cool.
your uncle. That's it. It's just that simple. Goes together with magnets, solid, hits like a motherfucker. Made by
It's
Genius.
endorsed by Tommy Chong.
Yeah, it's endorsed by Tommy Chong. He's got a video on his Facebook page about it. It's made by Genius, and it's genius. It's fucking genius.
I just used my wooden box, and I got like a one-hitter. Looks like a cigarette.
Yeah, I got one of those too.
Mm-hmm.
But thanks, Lance. You're a champ, dude.
Yeah, man. You're welcome.
Where's mine at?
I'll get you one.
He's got to have your address. You got to be willing to give up that address, man.
Mm-hmm. If he hadn't moved, I still got it.
Oh,
Yeah,
right on.
I haven't moved.
No, he's up
Well,
there, asshole
Happy
deep
New
and stuff.
Year, too, by the way, Dave.
Happy New Year, guys.
If it is.
It's not. If you
Time's
go by the
time's irrelevant anyway, man.
Exactly. It doesn't exist.
but whoever made this calendar did a shitty job, man. Because who wants to start the year when everything's fucking dead? You know what I mean? Everything's dead. It's all, the leaves are all down. It's cold and shitty, and you know who the fuck wants to start?
Australia.
Well, no, but it's summer down there for them, dumbass.
Well, that's what I mean.
So-
It's still New Year.
Well, yeah. New Year's in April 1st.
Mm-hmm. True.
Okay. On with the show. You said we got a lot to bitch about. We got a lot to talk about. There's been a ton of fucking shit going on. I watch David's posts every day on Facebook.
So do I.
You don't watch Facebook, dude. You're not even on Facebook.
Oh,
so
no,
shit.
no. It's Twitter. When he
really?
I
does.
post
Every
pretty much
post
the
he
same
likes.
stuff. I post the same stuff on Twitter too. So.
Oh, okay.
well, okay.
Yeah. So I follow it. I mean, I see at least eight or 10 of them a day from him.
All right. Well, there we go. So, Dave, dive right in, man.
All right, let's talk about what's fixing to happen with Venezuela here. We're fixing to have a war in our backyard, and this is going to be a crazy one because
Everybody, just so they know, that Venezuela used to be the number 3 oil producer in the world. Number 3. And now they're pretty much, I don't know, eating out of garbage cans. So, go ahead.
Is that the socialism that
they're
got him?
still producing the oil. They're just not getting the money. China
Yeah, but-
is for the big debt that they had when.
Yeah, I'm just saying. They used to be a really, really nice country. Not too.
I think
not
they're
too
close to
long
the
ago.
number 1 oil producer right now. Still, But they're not getting the money. Like I said, it's going to mainly China because China gave them a huge, huge loan a couple of years ago, and Venezuela couldn't pay it back. So China started confiscating their oil facilities.
Mm-hmm. I think their interest rate's gone up like it's close to 1,000,000%.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's way up there. I mean, they're just, so bad over there. They ate all the zoo animals and everything else, man.
All right. Dive into your story. Sorry. I didn't want to get you off sidetracked. I just wanted to make sure everybody was up to speed.
Oh, no. Maduro, he's going to be sworn in tomorrow. And Lima nations, which are several different South American nations, have come out along with America and UK and Canada and said, we will not recognize you as the new president. It says, you will not be recognized by us as the duly elected official there, which he was, sadly enough. He was, and he's got some support still down there. Not much, but he's got enough to keep him around. And so, this is kind of hard to explain because his Supreme Court minister defected to our country the other day to Miami. Just left, got up, and we took him in.
Hey, Miami's nice this time of year.
Yeah, well, the deal is, and then one of his main opposition guy is over here in Miami too. There's a shadow government running out of Miami right now for the Venezuelan government, and it's a shadow government that we put together.
No, can't say it ain't so.
It's a shadow Venezuelan government that we put together, that we formed, and we got stationed in Miami right now. That way, when this war breaks out and Maduro's under fire, we've got a government to install as soon as he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's the main opposition leader. We promised him that he could be president this time around, and the Venezuela people didn't vote for him. And so we're pissed, and we're like, you're still going to be president.
Man, that's 2 elections they've lost in the last couple of years.
And so we're pissed because the Venezuelan government people didn't vote for this opposition leader. And, of course, the opposition screamed that the vote was rigged, which maybe it was, who knows. But, and so we're like, all right, Maduro, you want to play that way? We told you not to run. You weren't going to be, and we're going to keep our word. You just seen Russia about a couple weeks ago fly 2 of their long-range nuclear bombers over there and land. China's been sending subs over that way. I mean, China and Russia's not going to allow us to go in and do what we want to do, but we don't care this time around. This isn't like Syria. Obama didn't, go in after Assad because he made that last minute deal with Putin to get rid of Assad's chemical weapons and stuff. Well, Trump, I don't know if he's not or if he's not being allowed. But he's following a script here, and that's not to give a shit what Russia and China they were doing with Venezuela. Unlike Syria.
Well,
we're going to go under humanitarian intervention. Not even going to be called an invasion this time, like in Panama when we invaded Panama back in the 80s to remove Noriega.
Mm-hmm.
We lost a whole bunch of special forces over there in that quick little war over there. We lost about 6 Navy SEALs and some other enlisted guys.
Yep.
Invading Panama. Well, then of course we had the DEA over there in Colombia. With the big war going over there with what's his name there? The big coke dealer back in the 80s. Pablo Escobar. We had even the small groups of forces over there hunting for him back in the 80s over there.
They caught him.
And they caught him and they killed him.
Yep. That's all on video even.
Well,
he was a CIA asset.
Anyway. Yeah, he was. Yeah. And the deal is with Maduro, we used to be allies with Venezuela back in the day.
Still should be.
Yeah, we should be. I don't know exactly, how I see their economy. If it's Maduro's fault or Chavez's before him or just socialism, period, ruined that place. Who's to say? You hear that. We're basically been trying to oust. We've been trying to oust Maduro since day one. Chavez, who knows? All of a sudden, he got a brain tumor out of nowhere. It's almost like something happened to him. Him and Bush, Chavez and Bush didn't get along back in the day. I remember at the UN where Chavez got off the podium or got on the podium right after Bush, and he said, "It smells like sulfur up here."
Yeah. Wasn't that? No, that wasn't the same time they threw the shoes at him. That was that was in India. So
that was in Iraq.
Oh, Iraq. Yeah. The UN thing that was at the UN when.
But the deal is also with Venezuela, you've got their allies, and they don't got a lot, but they've got Russia, they've got China as their two biggest backers. They've got Bolivia, they've got
all the countries that are dropping the dollar.
Yeah, they've got North Korea, Iran, Syria, everyone that we're against, basically.
Well, everyone that won't allow us to advance our empire into their territory.
Well, which, like I said, Maduro gets sworn in for his second term tomorrow. Each term is 6 years over there, so he's going to be around 6 more years, and we're not going to have that. America's not going to have that because, like I said, we're going to go in under humanitarian intervention. It won't be called an invasion. It's going to be called a humanitarian intervention.
Yeah, or what they try to do down in Syria, power change over something. They tried to do another spring and it didn't work. I
mean, if you follow what's going on in Venezuela, there are refugees pouring out in the millions over there. A lot of them are in Colombia now. A lot of them are in Brazil now.
Because there's no fucking food, man.
No, there's no food.
Yeah. And they won't allow them to garden. The people come in and the government comes in and takes anything that somebody tries to grow. They've taken over all the farms. Whatever. The currency's not worth a fuck. You can't even buy a gallon of water, for shit's sake.
No. Maduro over there the other day decided he was going to take some big-time measures over there, and he started imprisoning a bunch of military people over there, officials and stuff, because he believes that they were getting ready to do a coup against him. Which I could see that too. America's behind a bunch of them. We've tried several different coups on Maduro for the last 6 years that haven't worked.
They're still trying one here in this country, and it ain't working.
So the deal is he gets sworn in tomorrow for 6 more years, and we've already got his shadow government set up over here, ready to be installed as soon as we get him overthrown. And it looks like we're going to be doing the overthrowing, or at least we're going to be using the Brazilian army and the Colombian army will be doing most of the work. We'll be in there, though, right behind them. And then Canada is going to be in there. UK is going to be in there. Like I said, you're going to have some other South American nations that are going to be with us over there, going in over there at the same time. He's going to fall if Russia and China don't jump in. I mean, that's just plain and simple. He's going to be overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And so unless Putin wants to get into a huge war with us or China, he's going to fall. And, so who knows what we've got worked out with Russia and China right now with the oil facilities and other stuff. Putin wants to build a base over there. And Maduro gave him the okay to build a nuclear bomber base over there. So that didn't help matters any. And so I think we're trying to rush over there before Russia gets moving their bombers in over there and gets building that base real fast.
Feel free to chime in anytime, Lance.
Plus, we've got huge amphibious. We've been practicing huge amphibious landings with several big South American countries over there, with Brazil, especially since this new president just got elected, this Bolsonaro. He's a puppet for us. Even though he is part of BRICS, this is going to rip BRICS apart.
I don't think anything's going to rip.
It's going to pull Brazil out of it.
Yeah, well, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. The one thing that I want you people to understand that I've found out over the last, couple of months or whatever, it's been a while since I knew this. I don't know if I dropped it on. I haven't done a show for a while, so I don't think I have. Some of the same people that are behind the Trilateral Commission and the World Bank are some of the same deep pockets that are involved with BRICS. So it's not like the bankers are going to give up their play, right? They're going to be involved in anything having to do with currency exchanges anywhere on the planet. So Bob's your uncle, right? if the BRICS comes around and starts to go full tilt boogie, it's just going to be the same players under a different name.
Oh yeah.
So there you go.
But I mean, I think this is going to do something. Something's going to happen along the line with it. With
Well,
Brazil
yeah,
doing
because
the opposite way.
the World Bank, everything, the dollar is still the world reserve currency for whatever fucking reason. I have no idea, because it's ludicrous that anybody still recognizes it, and a lot of countries are coming to the light, and they're saying they're 20 trillion in debt, plus they got another hidden 20 trillion somewhere else, and whatever. When the currency rollover happens, whatever the fuck it's going to be, if it's going to be a basket of currencies or whatever we go to after the dollar collapses, or it's no longer seen as the world reserve currency, that's when the BRICS is going to come into its own, because it's going to be another form of exchange for people to move their shit around. You know what I mean? They think they're going to have separate eyes on it, but it's not going to be separate eyes. It's still going to be the same kind of eyes that were with the Trilateral Commission and the World Bank and everybody else.
Well, yeah, because the IMF came out last year and said that they endorsed the BRICS.
Yep. So,
they're basically taking the wealth from the West and going east.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. We're not going to go.
Basically, BRICS is a replacement for the IMF, because there's not going to be any more IMF soon enough. It's
because there's certain names associated with it that people aren't going to trust after all this shit hits the fan.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why they had to move locations and everything. Go ahead.
But anyway, like I said, they expect, I follow a lot of good people that report on this Venezuela stuff, and what I'm hearing is they're saying that this could go down anytime. This little invasion could go down anytime between January 11th and Valentine's Day.
It's been horrific down there for well over 18 months. Yep. Luke, We Are Changed, Luke Rudkowski, he was down there at least over a year ago, reporting on it. That's when the currency first started to collapse, and they had to walk around with bagfuls of fucking money to try to get anything done. So yeah, it's been horrific down there for a while. Go ahead.
So the question is, like I said, Maduro is going to fall unless Russia or China jump in. So the question is, how far do Russia and China want to go with this, or do we got some kind of backdoor deal worked out with them?
Makes you wonder.
Because this has the real good chance. If Russia and China wanted to jump in and defend an ally, they'll have every opportunity to do it. Russia has a military pact with Venezuela. China definitely has an economic one. Plus, they have a resource one now with all the oil they run down there. So, unless we've got a deal made with Russia and China, it's going to be interesting to see how they would react to this. Maduro came out today, and he made a lot of big statements today, because he knows what's fixing to happen.
Is he on Twitter?
Well, I found a lot of different stories from Venezuela that I translated.
I just wondering. I mean, him and Trump can tweet back and forth, get shit done.
I don't know if he's on Twitter, and I've never seen him. So. But he came out today. He said Colombia is the greatest enemy that Venezuela has on the face of the earth. And it says President of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, called Thursday a stupidity the decision of Peru to ban him from entering the country, and said that Colombia has become its worst enemy. He said, I think the decision of the Peruvian government is ridiculous. It's stupid. I think the arrogance, the racism that the Peruvian oligarchy has all of its life against Venezuela gets into its head. He came out and gave an ultimatum to the Lima Group today. He said, within 48 hours, if you don't rectify and fix everything that you said against me the other day, he says, I'm going to do radical measures against you. He said in a press conference that his government had alerted the Lima cartel that if there is no change in this position, we will take the most crude and energetic measures that it can take in diplomacy in defense of the interests of the national government. And then the new Venezuelan Congress chief is the one that we got set up in Miami running this shadow Venezuela government where we got put together right now. He says that Maduro will be an usurper president and will be removed. And let's see exactly what he said here. He said, the newly elected chief of Venezuela's opposition-run Congress on Saturday, like I said, this is the guy we've got in Miami right now, said President Nicolas Maduro will be usurping the presidency when he swears in for a second term on January 10th, after winning a much criticized and broadly boycotted 2018 election. And said that the opposition will confront the dictatorship and seek fair elections. Now, on this video I watched today, they said that as soon as Maduro's sworn in tomorrow, we're going to swear in the opposition chief as president tomorrow in Miami. We're basically going to make him swear in, like you're the president, dude. As soon as we get him out of here,
How are they going to do that when it's not even on the country's soil?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's all right here in the stories I posted today, and basically, as soon as he is sworn in, he's going to declare. He's going to ask for America to come in.
Invasion
Into Venezuela to do a humanitarian intervention.
Humanitarian invasion.
Yeah, man, we're going to say, all right, you're the president. He's like, all right, first rule of order, I want you to come help me get rid of a usurper. And we're like, okay. And so he said the opposition here said Maduro from January 10th will be usurping the presidency of the republic. And said Guaido. Now, this Guaido is the guy we got in Miami. He's only 35 years old. He's an industrial engineer. And he gave a speech, and he said that this National Assembly as the only legitimate power elected by Venezuelans assumes the representation of the people. This is what the opposition chief said today. He's saying that he assumes the representation of the Venezuelan people.
I'm sure Nancy Pelosi thinks that she represents the country also, but no, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Venezuela's annual inflation now tops 1 million%, and basic food and medicine are out of the reach of most citizens, spurring an exodus of some 3 million people since 2015. Maduro says the country is
socialism. Socialism. I just want everybody to know that. That's socialism. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
It says Maduro says the country is a victim of an economic war by opposition leaders with the help of Washington, D.C., which has leveled several rounds of sanctions against its government and top officials. We put more sanctions on Venezuela again yesterday. We just put some on them a couple weeks ago, too.
Yep.
And we thought these sanctions would keep him, hopefully scare him away, but it's not. He's not running away. What's he cares? His people were hurting over there even worse.
He's like Hugo Chavez, giving him the big finger. Yeah, we'll see how all this pans out. I'm sure that with the use of military force, that our CIA will get their puppet in power. But if it was left up to the people, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't go our way. Or the CIA's way, not my way.
But it says a group of Latin American countries on Friday called on Maduro not to take office on January 10th. But Mexico, which is warm to Venezuela after the election of a leftist government, urged the group not to meddle in Venezuelan affairs. So Mexico is taking Venezuela's side, too. So that's going to be an issue with us on our border when this war kicks off, because they're going to allow all these refugees just to flow through. No. Venezuela, Mike Pence came out a couple months ago and accused Venezuela of forming these caravans.
Wait. Back up just a second. Yep. You mean to tell me that this big fucking pile of refugees at the border is a political tool? No way, man. I thought those people were running from oppression. Sorry. I just had to throw some sarcasm.
Pence come out and try to blame Maduro for it. Now, whether he's making a false flag and trying to make up lies to give us more of a reason to invade him, Who knows? But he's claiming that Maduro is sending all these people over here, which I don't know if I buy it or not, because you don't know with America. You don't know if they're telling the truth or not, man. We could just be saying that just so we have another reason to go after them. You know, it'd be easy for Pence and Trump to go on TV and say, hey, look, the Venezuela was sending all these refugees here, so we had to go bomb the living shit out of them.
Oh, well, they already know that Soros was paying off a lot of the motherfuckers down. They got proof of that on film. So, yeah, you know, whatever. You know, they're gonna spin whatever they want to spin, however they want to spin it. Try to make their side look good. That's you know, I see all these posts from you, these anti-Trump posts from you on your page and shit. Stop buying into the rhetoric, man. I mean, they're both working for the same motherfuckers.
I just don't like Trump.
Well, yeah, but you can't like
before all this shit. I never liked him.
Who do you like? Hillary? I mean, you know,
I don't like any politician.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure you got that clear.
I don't like any goddamn politician. You know me. How long you know me? Yeah. You know, this is where I get pissed off at so-called patriots that got their heads so far up Trump's ass right now. It makes me sick. It's like you call yourself a goddamn patriot, and here you are fucking sucking up to fucking Trump. What's Trump? Fucking Boy Scout? No, he's the head of the government.
He's working the same fucking shit that they've always been working.
There's nothing worse than me. You know what? The only thing worse than me than a Trump supporter is a closet Trump supporter. It's someone that tries to say they don't support him, but yet they make little snips out there that show that they do, but yet they don't want to come out and face reality and whatever. You know, it's either you support them or you don't. It's either you support the government or you don't. There's no gray area there. So anybody that supports Trump is supporting the goddamn government. Any patriot out there right now that's supporting Trump, you can go fuck yourself because you're fucking usurping fucking freedom. You know, if you don't support the government, then you don't support the president, no matter who it is.
But they'll pick and choose what's going on in the world or what's going on in our country, and they'll either say, well, this is his fault, or this is his, you know, this is a good thing that he did, or whatever. The machine works like the machine works. You know what I mean?
The sheep are letting the media really propaganda them lately. You know, they're throwing out more both sides, Fox, CNN, all of them. And they're trying to have you pick a side. You know what my side is?
It's goddamn
freedom. My side isn't the government.
It's always been that way. That's why they get the whole left-right paradigm. That's why the whole black-white thing goes on. That's why the Mexican-black thing goes on. That's why the Muslim-Christian thing goes on. That's why it's all about division. It's always been about division, divide and conquer.
It. Yeah. And I've had pro-Trump people come, oh, you don't support Trump, patriot people I've known for years that all of a sudden got their arms around Donnie's crotch. And I'm like, oh, you're going to come after me because I'm saying something bad about Trump? At least I don't fucking support him. I don't support any government officials. So don't sit there and tell me you're for freedom when you got your fucking hand around Trump's cock.
Yeah.
I just don't buy that anymore.
Yeah.
It's either you're fucking for government or you're against it. Period. There's no in between. None.
Lance, you want to chime in here?
And that's what bugs me about the whole thing. It's like when I have not an argument or conversation or something at work, and somebody's bashing Trump, and I'm all for that because I don't mind. I love bashing him too. But then on the same, and then turn around on your heels and say how good it would be if Hillary would have won. No, I mean, bash both sides. If you're going to bash them, just fucking bash them. I mean, I get bashing them, but then don't say, oh, we need to get a Democrat in there. No, we don't need anybody in there. But
no, it's all the same. Yeah, they work for the same motherfuckers, man.
Exactly. I mean, if every politician, like we said before, if every politician is against everything that's bad in the United States, why isn't it better? They've been stumping on it for 50 years about making it better. Well, why isn't it?
It's not. It's not. They're going to sit there and, well, gas is below $2 a fucking gallon for the first time in forever. Whatever, man. Gas prices are going to make you lose your fucking mind over politics. I can't tell you the number of friends that I have that were wide awake when Obama was in office, but as soon as Trump came along, man, they just fucking lost it. They just lost it, They're all aboard with, Make America Great Again and what. this country, whatever. I'm not going to get.
But they're probably the same people that supported Bush too. So, I mean,
No,
they're going for a party. I mean,
no, some of them aren't. You know, some of them were awake. I mean, were full on awake to the shit that was going on, the left right bullshit. But as soon as Trump showed up, it was like they just lost it. They lost it.
I mean, it's hard to argue with results. I mean, especially if you see the news. I mean, even the Sunday morning this past week, you know, it was a jobs report, an economic report that every president for the last 20 would have died to have while they were in office. I mean, with the jobs, the economy, the stock market, everything else. But just because you don't like the guy's style, it's orange man bad, orange man bad. Yeah. So, I mean, you and I agree. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think he's a piece of shit. But for every single one of the indicators that they talk about on the news, as far as a strong this, a strong that, man, every president would love to have the numbers that he has right now. But nobody talks about it because orange man bad. That's all it comes down to.
The reason that the economy's doing that there's been a little blip up is because a couple of things that he did. Okay, he opened up Anwar, he opened up a couple other oil fields, and we are now a net exporter.
I mean, we all know it's artificially manipulated anyway.
Yeah, but
so
it's nothing that anybody else couldn't have done.
Take the gains from the previous president, and it's been like that forever. Especially, you know, when they change parties. I mean,
oh shit!
Just like every president in their first year or two, they get the fallback from the previous president.
Wait till you see how many of these Republicans that were elected to Congress are going to change party before before anything gets going. They're going to switch to the Democrats, and then the Democrats are going to wind up taking over the Senate. And you know, this is all gamed. It's all gamed. So
last night's was pretty funny. I mean, the rebuttal was just classic. It was like that guy, Ma and Pa with the pitchfork, man. That's exactly who they look like standing up there.
Them two were freaking me out.
They were, man. I saw that meme today go around, and it showed them and the picture of the, Mom and Pa with the pitchfork.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit, if they would have been standing on the opposite side,
that would have
been them. Yeah, exactly.
They do that for a reason, dude.
It was hilarious.
all the video clips coming out of Schumer wanting a wall just a few years back, and Pelosi wanting a wall just a few years back, and the fact that Obama has already set aside like $500 billion for border security shit, that they're not allowing that money to be tapped for whatever reason. It's just, this is all a game, man. This is all a game.
I saw a video yesterday where a guy was on a college campus, and he was actually using quotes from Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and Hillary Clinton, but said that they were said by Donald Trump. And then let me gauge your reactions. Oh, this is so divisive. This is so this. This is so awful. It's this. It's that. He's awful, awful, awful.
Well, actually,
and then at the end, he would be like,
Hillary
what if I told you these were actually quotes from Chuck Schumer, Hillary Clinton, and Nancy Pelosi less than 2 years ago? Would you be shocked? And every one of them was like, their mouth dropped, and they turned around and walked away.
I don't believe
you. What the fuck are you going to say?
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you this. And, as far as the wall goes, I would like to see a border wall all the way around this country. All the way around this country. Canada and Mexico. I would like to see some more. Here's the thing. And, you people can hate me for this. I don't give a shit. There shouldn't be a single immigrant, legal or otherwise, come into this country until every fucking veteran is off the streets, in a home, with a job, with medical care. That's where I stand. Period. Absolutely fucking period.
I'd like to see it, but their argument of, they said it, I can't tell you how many times last night, an ineffective wall. He wants an ineffective wall. Well, don't you have to try something before you can call it ineffective? No. I mean, if there's how in the fuck do you know? You can't call it ineffective. And like the meme the other day, if walls and fences don't work, how come they keep putting them up around prisons?
Yep.
I mean, they do seem to work.
Yeah. We have to build the wall in order to see if it works. Just like we had to
I don't know
pass
how
the
you can call
bill
it ineffective
in order
when
to see if
you haven't tried it.
just
Well,
like
you know, let me-
Pelosi with the we need to pass the bill before we see what's in it.
Let me say something on this real fast. First of all, for over a year, all I've seen was Trump's rallies on TV where Mexico's going to pay for the cocksucker.
They are.
That's the first thing, and I don't see them paying for it.
Just look at the trade deal that we did with them and see if it'll.
I was going to say,
get
he
the
laid that
research
out
of
and you didn't
trade
hear him?
deal. You look at that trade deal; it was all broke down. I looked at it today from these people put together. It ain't going to give shit.
Okay.
The first of all, though, is all you heard at Trump's rally. Build that wall. Who's going to pay for it? Mexico's going to pay for it. Number one. Number two, lock her up. I still see Hillary's walking around after 2 years.
Here's another way that Mexico's going to pay for it. The lack of people coming across the border that we have to take care of, the wall will pay for itself.
But I don't care about that. My point is this, Jimmy. I live in North Dakota. Mm-hmm. We are overtaken, I've said this before, by Somalians.
You got the immigrants up there.
Coming through Canada.
Somalians. Yeah. And these people are being flown over here, over the wall, on a commercial airliners from the United States government, brought over here in the shitload, dumped over here in a relocation camp in South Dakota where they dole them out to 5 different states. The government is paying our state $125,000 for each one we take. And so after we take them and we get that money goes so far that all of a sudden us citizens got to take care of these people. But we don't got a word in saying that. If people want to bitch about Mexicans coming across the border, kiss my fucking ass. Come up here to the north. This is like little Africa.
Tweet that to Trump.
But
tweet that to Trump.
Legally.
Tweet that to Trump.
People didn't come here legally. That's the whole deal. This is the biggest. And I've talked to Lutheran Social Services, who controls the immigrants coming here to Fargo. I talked to the lady, and she couldn't tell me a lot because it was all classified, but she could tell me enough. They're getting $125,000 for each Somalian brought over here. Mm. When the Somalians are brought up here to the north, there's 4 relocation camps in America, one on the East Coast, one on the West Coast, one down south, and one up here in South Dakota. Now, when these Somalians are brought in, they're brought into one of these relocation camps, where, say, for example, the one in South Dakota. They're all brought up here. South Dakota doles them out to 5 different states up north of here. Each state gets a different price for each one they take. Talk about human trafficking at its highest.
Right.
North Dakota gets $125,000 for each Somalian we take. These are Somalians that have not been sworn in, that aren't fucking here legally. They were brought over here illegally from our government and dumped up here. We've got a big
to vote Democrat.
Well, we've got a big money-making thing going on up here with Somalia. And what that is, who knows? But it's something where Somalia is making money for them giving us people, and then the states are making money from the government right away, and then the taxpayers hung after that. Now, when a Somalian comes up here to, say, for example, in North Dakota, they're tax exempt for 5 years. 5 years, no taxes, no state, no federal, nothing.
That's the same way with almost anybody that comes over here.
They're giving a brand new minivan.
Oh, well.
They're giving a license without taking a test. This is stuff I know for a fact. These people are responsible for most of the sexual assaults up here now in Fargo are done from Somalian men. My wife is a public servant and has to deal with these people on a regular basis. When she gets a male come up to her, a male Somalian, first thing he asks her if there's another man he can talk to. The second thing he does is snap at her. Try to make her do whatever he wants. She said they are some of the most rudest fucking people she's ever met in her life. You go to Walmart here.
That's their culture.
95% Somalian. The workers, all Somalian. They're in there stinking up the place. They're in there not speaking English, not assimilating whatsoever. But yet no one wants to talk about these son of a bitches coming up here. Let's worry about the goddamn wall and some Mexicans when our government is flying these people over here since Obama was president, and it hasn't stopped under Trump. If anything, it's picking up. We're getting another wave up here.
Yeah, they were proud. They didn't notate how many of them they had brought in, quote unquote legally.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a large number. I mean, I think they let in more last year than they did under Obama a couple of years.
The ones coming up here, I know for a fact, are not coming here legally. They're being brought up here by our government legally, but they're not citizens. And they haven't put in information or anything, any kind of paperwork. Lutheran Social Services that runs the influx up here told me that herself.
They're transplants.
They're transplants.
Yep.
They're considered refugees running from war.
Yep.
When in fact, they're just human slaves that our government is selling to the states. And so when it comes to this wall, I'm like, fine, build your goddamn wall. But until our government stops legally bringing these people over here, fuck a wall. It doesn't matter when you got the government flying them over here.
True, but I mean, $5 billion in the budget that we got or the deficit that we got is nothing. I mean, if the Pentagon can lose $180 billion every few years, it shouldn't be hard to find $5 billion.
That is another way that they can do it too, because he expanded the military's budget this year. You guys remember they were due $750, and I think he gave them $770 or something.
Oh yeah,
like that.
but those people already came out and said they couldn't afford. You know, those people are already up in arms. Oh no, if you take it from here, it's going to affect our readiness and this and that and that and that. So they're just posturing.
Wait. There has already been contractors contacted. They've been doing it since 2016 that have got stuff ready to start building the wall. You know, the military, the Corps of Engineers already has private contractors, not under contract yet, but they've put bids out for people to get to constructing on this wall immediately once Trump says what he says, or if he declares a national emergency or whatever, and they can have it done in about 3 months, they said. Because the majority of it's already finished. I mean, if you guys go down there and look, if you Google Earth it, you can go see. The majority of it's already done. To complete the wall would take almost no time whatsoever. If they're gonna redo a lot of it, then it might take a little longer.
But I mean, you've got what I hear: 53 points of entry from Tijuana all the way to Texas. There's 53 points of entry.
Plus, there's tunnels.
Border crossings, you know, that you can legally come through on. They're not talking about closing any one of them down. So, I mean, I don't see the problem of putting something in the spaces in between them. Personally, I don't see a problem with it, but that's just me.
I guess my only problem is Mexico's paying for it, you know? And all the people that were chanting at every one of his goddamn rallies looking like goddamn lemmings. You know, lock her up, and Mexico's paying for it.
Every one of them.
Biggest fucking mantras in Trump's goddamn rally, even up for the first year he was president. And all these Trump supporters are willing to look the other way now. This goddamn fucker lied.
That's
and he's making the people pay for it.
That's just showing you how brainwashed everybody is in this country, man.
That's my fucking bitch about it. Border security, whatever. You know, a real person that believes in freedom doesn't believe in borders. You know,
there's a dozen lies that come out of his mouth every day.
That's not true at all, dude. That's not true at all.
I don't believe in borders myself.
Then why are you bitching about the Somalians?
My anarchist way.
Hang on a second. Why are you bitching about the Somalians?
Because the deal is, what I'm bitching is that we do have borders. And since
they didn't climb over the border.
But if you're an anarchist and you believe in freedom, then why are you bitching about them? You know, you should be going, yeah, they got out. Fucking A.
No, it ain't that. Let me put it this way.
Okay.
Not that I don't believe in borders, but at the same time, I don't believe in migration.
What the
if that makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
No, it does in my twisted mind.
Yeah, I mean, legal. You're talking about legally.
Like, say, I want to fly to Europe. I think passports should be abolished. I don't believe in passports. What right do I need to have papers to go somewhere else? I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Because you got to respect that country's sovereignty, and that's why.
I mean, do you agree with passports?
I mean,
I would want to know. I would want to know who was coming and going out of my country.
Before,
if I was
when
in
I
charge.
lived in Europe previously, if you wanted to go from Germany to France to Holland to Italy, you had to go through a border checkpoint at every single one of those crossings, and you had to have a passport to get in. I mean, when I lived there in the 80s, you had to have a passport to get into every country, and now you don't. I mean, you drive all over Europe without a passport.
It's because it's the EU.
Once you get in.
It's the European Union. You can go anywhere in the European
Union. As far as that
Union.
Goes, then you might as well set up passports between states.
Well, and they got a lot of people over there. They got a lot of people over there that are there without passports. I mean, look at all the Middle Easterners and Muslims that are in Europe now.
It might be coming to that too. Be careful what you wish for. This country collapses, the states might go independent and say, "Hey, we don't want none of you fucking Oklahomans down here."
Well, that's the way this country was made up. We take care of our own selves. Each state takes care of itself.
Yeah, but if the federal government hadn't had control over it, I mean, there still wouldn't be black people down in Alabama and Georgia. So, I mean, you can't say that because it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work.
I don't know, man. It remains to be seen. There's a lot of things.
Rules, not rulers.
Absolutely. But there's a lot of things that I never thought that I'd see that I've seen.
It's like the governor's the president of each state. It's basically each state has a president. That's your governor.
He's not my president.
But that all rely on federal funds to be able to function.
Well, they do now, yeah. But I mean, the very beginnings, that's just not the way it was supposed to be.
Right, because they hold them hostage with highway funds.
Our founding fathers come back.
Interstates.
Our founding fathers come back right now out of their graves. They wouldn't even recognize what they put together.
We had roads before there was a government.
Yeah.
So we had colleges. We had an army and a navy. We had all that before we had a functioning government. So.
We don't have
I just think here's the way that I see the entire thing. This is how I see the entire thing. We've had government for several hundred years now, and the shit's just not working. We're 20 trillion, they admit to, in debt, 22 trillion in debt. It's just not working. It's just not working. Even the people on Capitol Hill can't function with each other on a daily basis without sniping. You know what I mean? The entire country is divided over this shit. So if government's not working, let's just do away with it for a little while. And we don't even have to do it forever. Let's just try it for a couple hundred years and see how that works.
People are too greedy and callous and evil for that to happen. I mean, look at the yellow vest protest going on over there. Dude, that's massive. And you can't turn on the TV and see it.
Not here in this country because they don't want the people to see.
No, or over there.
Well, no, because the media is controlled by everybody.
Over there.
Yeah, but they're still out there every fucking day. They're out
every day, but it's never on the mainstream media. It's all alternative.
What was it yesterday over there in France? These little yellow vests, they got a forklift and ripped the gates out the front of the Ministry of Defense.
You watched?
You didn't see that on CNN.
That come across that on Twitter.
Exactly.
There was some yellow vests that showed up in Washington D.C. over the weekend. There was some yellow vests that showed up in some place in Los Angeles, I believe, over the weekend. So they're starting to pop up over here too.
Well, yeah, my buddy had that big rally in Texas a couple weekends ago where they pushed that
the gun rights rally,
that guillotine to in front of the courthouse.
See, they did that shit in France too. That got that motherfucker's attention.
That's where these people in Texas got the idea from, France.
But see, the only thing that Macron did was upped his police force, right? And now he's threatening everybody that shows up on the streets. They're going to take them all to fucking jail.
They said they're changing the rules for protesting, and you have to have permits, and unlawful protests aren't allowed anymore. So they're really trying to crack down so this doesn't happen again.
It ain't going to work.
If
this is not a funded wave of protests, right? If this is an organic wave of protests, it ain't gonna work. They can pass all the laws they want to pass because that's what they're bitching about in the first place. This all started over a fucking tax hike. That's how it started. Was over a tax hike on fuel, and then they said, "Yeah, it's not about the tax hike anymore. It's about this fucking banker puppet that was stuck in office that we didn't vote for, blah, blah, blah. They finally found out what the truth was because it started spreading through the crowds. So if this yellow vest protest turns out to be organic and it moves all over Europe and it starts up here in the United States, Katie, bar the door, man. Let it come. Let it come.
Well, that sounds like Democrats that are, protesting. He's not our president. I mean, it doesn't sound any different.
No, it doesn't. But hey, whatever works, right? Whatever gets them out. Because that's all I'm looking for. I just want the shit to go away, man. I want it to go away. Just for a little while, till the end of my lifetime at least. I want to be left alone.
Yeah, I got an interesting story I just come across.
Go ahead.
Really, two of them. You want to hear both of them?
Yeah. Fire away, Gridley.
Yeah.
All right, this just came out. It says FDA suspends routine inspections of food supply due to shutdown. It says, as the partial government shutdown continues in its third week, the Food and Drug Administration has suspended all routine inspections of domestic food processing facilities. The Washington Post reports. It says, why it matters, the FDA inspects 80% of the U.S. food supply, meaning the food most Americans eat could potentially be less safe and cause an increase in foodborne illnesses. It says FDA Commissioner Scott Gottlieb told the Post that he's working on a plan to bring back furloughed inspectors at high-risk facilities, which handle foods such as soft cheese or seafood as soon as next week.
Have you guys noticed how many recalls they've been putting out over the last couple of weeks?
A lot.
Bunches.
Obviously, they can't do their job when there's not a shutdown.
Or they're trying to poison the public.
Too. This came out, says Blumenauer bill would regulate weed like alcohol. This came out from CBS tonight. This Blumenauer has long advocated legalizing marijuana at the federal level. This is a bill introduced by U.S. Representative Earl Blumenauer, a Democrat from Oregon, seeks to regulate marijuana like alcohol. This is the bill introduced today would take marijuana off the federal controlled substance list and establish a nationally regulated industry overseen by the Bureau of Tobacco, Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. Blumenauer has long advocated legalizing marijuana at the federal level. He authorized a blueprint last year for his like-minded Congress members on how to achieve that goal, now that the House of Representatives has a Democratic majority. The bill number for the so-called Regulate Marijuana Like Alcohol Act is H.R. 420. That's a tongue-in-cheek reference to 420, a slang term frequently used to reference marijuana. Blumenauer is founder and co-chair of the Congressional Cannabis Caucus. Well, that's good to see that. I'll support the Democrats on that.
Here local, our Commonwealth attorney or the district attorney over in Norfolk put out a bulletin this week, I think on Monday, saying they're not going to prosecute any more, small marijuana cases. Don't even bring them before the court because they're going to get dismissed.
There was I can't remember what state it was, but just not even a month ago, right before Christmas, I saw one of the states that legalized marijuana released everyone behind bars for marijuana crimes.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I can't remember if it
wasn't
a
smaller state.
Yeah, it wasn't Colorado or anything. I can't remember where it was.
No.
So, and
it's legal in the capital of the United States, man. What does that tell you?
Trump decriminalized the growing of hemp, so any state in the country can produce hemp now. So that's
our farmers were happy with that.
That's a big plus.
We got a lot of farmers that want to grow that out here.
Fucking A, man. Start making hemp clothes. I'll buy the shit out of them.
Well, they already got it.
They last forever, man. I know I got some hoodies and stuff. They last forever. They're tough as fuck.
And that's the problem. You don't get repeat business then.
Yeah.
So, you got to make your shit cheaply or else you don't get repeat buyers.
Yeah.
Buy from China.
It's all right. They got a lot of, you know what I mean? If everybody converts over to hemp clothes, they've still got a lot of sales to make. So everybody's going to make their money. Don't sweat the small shit. Innovate. Everybody, let's start making hemp rope again. Hemp rope used to be. Go ahead.
I wear those hemp rope necklaces all the time.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I use for the when I'm smoking a bong, that hemp string to light it.
Yep. Yeah, hemp punk, whatever they call
Yeah.
it. Hemp punks, yep. Natural
Yeah,
hemp.
because it's tasteless. No propane, no butane, nothing.
Yeah. You should send me some of them too. I need some more jerky, man. The jerky's all gone.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was dry. Need to make the next batch a little thicker, you know.
It was a couple weeks old.
Make the slices. Well, you just got to make the slices a little thicker, and that way it'll maintain a little bit more of that moisture. But it was tasty.
Yeah.
It was tasty, like the peppery. Very, very, very good.
Yeah, I'll be doing some again soon. I'm loving my new flamethrower. That's for sure.
Very cool. Yeah, Sandy, the whole CBD oil, hemp THC thing, I don't know. The federal government's still maintaining the fact that THC is going to be a Class A drug, blah, blah, or whatever the fuck they call it. Whatever. It's all going to change. It's all going to change. There's too many people that are in the know now that understand how beneficial it is, both medicinally as well as just socially. I would much rather go to a bar where everybody's sitting around smoking bong hits than drinking, because a bunch of fucking drunks are a bunch of fucking assholes.
Well, that's where Holland, when I went over there last Thanksgiving, I mean, you walk into the bars and everybody was smoking weed, but nobody was allowed to smoke cigarettes in there.
Yeah. Well, hey, everybody's got to have their own way. And cigarettes, unless you're smoking natural tobacco, unless you're smoking all natural cigarettes, they're not good for you anyway. I don't give a fuck what you think.
I got one of those vape pens that I use now with the oil, the THC
you gotta watch
oil,
some
the
of
CBD
that.
oil.
Oh, yeah.
Man, these things are the fucking bomb, let me tell you. I just got some more today. One of the flavors is Girl Scout cookie, and there's wedding cake is in there. I got 5 different flavors. This shit's amazing.
Yep, I got one. I've had one for a while.
And you can walk around
the little vials. The little vials are kind of expensive.
Dude, you walk around anywhere smoking it because everybody smokes a vape, and they don't know whether you're smoking that, regular shit or not. I mean, nobody knows. You can pull up right next to a cop, hit your vape pen, and blow it out the window. Yeah. That's what's so good about it, man. Nobody even knows.
Unless you're smoking, like ganja scented, flavored, whatever. Then it smells.
No, I mean, I guess you could. I mean, the one I got right now in here is lemon haze. Yeah. And it tastes like biting into a lemon drop.
Yep. That Juul company, the JUUL, the vape, big vape thing. The federal government's making them take all their candy flavored shit off the market because they said it's addictive to children.
Right. And it is.
So, and they were marketing. They were like, "Oh, you're marketing it to kids, man. Fruit Loops is marketing to kids. Whatever." They had what are all the candy flavors, like the lemon head and blah blah blah. All the candy, lifesavers. Yeah. So they made Juul stop all that. That's the first time I ever heard of Juul, but they're like king of the market of vape. I've never even heard of them, but that shows you how
they're really thin, and kids can just hide them in their pocket.
Yeah.
My kid said at school, his high school kids do it all over the place.
Yeah, and again, you don't even know whether they're doing one of those vape pens like I got, or a vape pen of the whatever it is in that
caffeine.
Shit. I don't even know what it is.
Caffeine,
just the flavored stuff. Yeah, flavored nicotine.
Yeah.
Well, actually now with vapes and everything, I've been vaping since 2011. I've got all different types of devices and stuff. And
vape fag.
Well, what I come find out with vaping is that you can get a certain percentage of nicotine in them.
Right.
Like mine, I got 3% or 3 milligrams of nicotine in mine, but. The deal is that they're able to get kids. Nicotine is your biggest drug in smoking, but tar and nicotine.
Nicotine and alcohol.
They're using these pens, and they're addicting a whole generation of kids to nicotine at a very early age. They really are. And I mean, I'm not vape, but I think you should be at least 18. I don't think these 14, 15, 16-year-olds should be vaping because you're getting addicted to Nick. They're going to find out, but the longer they do it, the harder it's going to be to break away from it.
Yep. Yeah, well, I mean, the whole vape thing came out to try to get people to stop smoking. You know,
And
it was a way to get people to stop smoking cigarettes.
But you're addicted to this.
Yeah, but you know, now they're marketing it to people. You know,
like
hey,
me,
you want to try smoking? Vape, it's healthier.
I smoked for 24 years. I smoked cigarettes, and then in 2011, I put it down because they started getting too expensive for me. But
Crown
I started
City
vaping. I'm more addicted to my vape pen now than I ever was a cigarette.
Crown City said they need a Ritalin vape pen for the children.
But I'm more addicted. Now you're seeing Philip Morris and all your big tobacco companies getting into vapes now.
Oh, Philip Morris bought a bunch of shit on.
They were one of the first ones to go into it.
Well, they're diving into marijuana cigarettes now.
Yeah, that too.
So
you got Pepsi and Coke that are diving into cannabis infused drinks too now.
Yep. Everybody knows the health benefits of it. You can't get away from it. If you just type CBD oil or cannabis oil, cannabis cures cancer, just type any of that shit into your Google search engine, man. You'll get thousands and thousands of results.
Yeah, but that doesn't get you high though. So I mean, you need
it's not. It's not about getting high to me.
CBD oil is just going to.
It's not about getting high to
your
me
ailments, and you won't come up hot on a piss test, but you're not going to get high out of it either.
But it's not about getting high to me anymore. It's about the medicinal benefits of this.
Oh no, it's about getting high to me. So.
Well,
I like a little.
I smoke pot.
It's about getting high to me.
I smoke pot because I like to get high, but I know the medicinal benefits of cannabis, and that's why I want it legalized. Not so that I can get high and not worry about a cop pulling me over and shaking me down on the side of the street, because I don't worry about that anyway. I'll tell that cop to eat a dick. But
there's no health benefits to smoking it. I mean, it'll cause curb.
That's not necessarily true. That's not necessarily true. There's evidence that,
but it's not going to treat any ailment.
They said smoking marijuana is the worst way to get it.
It is. I mean, it is. You're killing your lungs. The lungs weren't designed for smoke. So I mean, you can't say the argument of smoking weed is healthy
just to get high.
It's not. Yeah, exactly. It's not. The THC or that oil is. But I mean, smoking is not healthy.
The best way to ingest it actually.
It takes my nerve pain away smoking it still. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, that's why I said it. Nausea. It has certain.
There is medicinal benefits to smoking pot. Don't listen to Lance. He doesn't know what he's talking about. There are medicinal benefits.
But it's not healthy for you.
No matter how you get the oil into your body, get the oil into your body, because your body will know what to do with it once it's in there. Here's the thing. That's the way that I like. If I just wanted to get high and I wanted the best way to get high, you can vape it. You can do the oils. You can do, you can smoke the fucking crystal shit that they make out of it or whatever. Do the heavy duty bong hits, whatever. If that's what you want to do, I'm talking about cannabis legalization, because cannabis is good for the human body. It can cure a lot of stuff. It's going to put the pharmaceutical companies out of business. Good, because they need to go out of business. The shit that they push out keeps you sick. It keeps you sick.
Chemotherapy for cancer. Believe me.
It's good. It's good for the planet.
That's why I don't drink O'Doul's beer, because I don't want to be doing it just because it's healthy. I want the effects of it, which is why I want to get high. Weed.
You ever had hash oil?
Plenty of times.
Yep.
Plenty of times. Put it on a little bit needle head.
It gets you
underneath
fucked
the cup.
up, Jack.
Yeah.
Hash gets you fucked up. Opium does too.
I get almost too stoned doing that stuff.
Opium does too.
Put it underneath a book or an album cover or a magazine or something.
Yep.
Ball it up, put it on a needle, light it, put a glass over it. It's good.
I've tried quite a few drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've tried them pretty much all.
I'm sticking with the one
When
I
I
got
was
now.
younger, I tried everything.
I've never shot
Yeah.
heroin. I've never put a needle in
Me
my
either.
I've
body.
never
with
done a
Me
needle.
either.
I'll
Nah,
take
me
that
either.
back. I've never done heroin.
I'm too scared to do that.
Well, you can
I've never
smoke
taken-
heroin too, but I've never done that. I've never done heroin.
I hate needles.
I've
man.
never
I
smoked
can't-
crack.
Oh, I
Or
have. It's fucking awesome.
Oh no, negative. Can't do that.
Oh no, it is. It's awful for you, but let me tell you, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But it's the devil's, product.
Yep.
But while you're on it, it's awesome.
PCP.
Nah, I
Never
wouldn't
done
do
that one either. I've eaten peyote though.
I've done that.
Yeah.
Shrooms plenty of
And
times.
I've done a lot of shrooms, and I've dropped a lot of acid too.
Plenty.
Yeah.
Hey,
Couple
the
hundred
best
sheets.
weed I ever had was Thai sticks straight from Thailand.
I've had I used to get those back in the 80s, and I miss those. It was wrapped in fishing wire.
Mm-hmm.
It was opium dipped
Yep.
weed wrapped around a stick. I used to love getting those Thai sticks.
The best weed I ever had came out of Alaska. It was called Matanuska Thunderfuck weed. And
I can see that.
that shit would eat you up, man. I mean, the gooey, you throw the buds at the TV and they'd stick to the TV. And, oh, god damn, that
Yeah,
shit was
I can
fucking
see that.
delicious. Yeah. But hey, the number one producer of marijuana right now is Canada. Those boys out in British Columbia are still kicking it. So
They said as soon as Mexico legalizes it here in the next month, they're going to take over as the biggest.
yeah, but that's
Well, then we don't need a wall. Then.
That's
what are we
ditchweed.
talking about building a wall for? We don't want a wall.
they could just do a row of plants all the way along the border. That's all they got
Yeah,
to
they
do.
could.
Well, see, they said the Mexico government, about a month or two ago, they found it unconstitutional for it to be banned. So they gave them till February of 2019 to legalize it.
That's all sandy brown weed, though. This
Yeah,
stuff.
it's ditch weed.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Mexican brown, man. I'm just
No way.
a lot of seeds. And they got the seedless now that came out in the 80s. That was a big thing for the cartels in the 80s was seedless weed.
That's all I do now.
That takes
I've never had seedless weed.
all
That's all I do. Hydroponic. That's
Yeah.
the only thing I've smoked in probably 10 years.
That just takes a lot of pruning and a lot of paying attention to your plants, man. That's how you make them seedless.
I'll bet I haven't seen 20 seeds in a bag of weed in 10 years.
Oh, hell no. If I find one, it's
If
one.
I find one, I bitch about it.
It's like, oh, I don't bitch about it. I put that motherfucker in a jar and save it.
Oh, I show it to the person I got it from. I'm like, hey, man, you threw my weight off. I need all these seeds in there.
I need this.
And
I
they're
need
like,
this tenth of a
"Dude."
gram.
They're like 2. And I'm like, man, it's like a quarter right here.
I remember
The
picking up the
seedless weed I've
bag.
ever had was a bunch of shake, and that's it.
I remember picking up a bag, dude.
You got to step up.
By the time you got done cleaning it, there was like an eighth worth of stems and seeds and shit. That was, that's back in the day though.
Yeah, it means $300 an ounce.
It still is. That's
What I mean.
it's-
That's what I get it for.
Yeah, that's what it's hitting around here too.
Yeah, I get one every other week.
So, and those cats are they're banking. They're banking. And they're scared to death that it's going to get legalized because then it's going to eat into their profit.
Yeah, well, of course, all of the stuff I get now comes straight out of California or Colorado, legal places anyway, and people buy it legally and then ship it around the states. I mean, that's how I get it.
Hell yeah. People driving around this country with trunkfuls of this shit.
Yeah, that's exactly, or the mail, but I mean, that's exactly how it comes around.
Anybody that's sending it through the mail is still taking a hell of a chance, dude. That's a huge chance.
Yeah, there's ways to do it. I've seen it happen.
Me too, but that's still taking a huge chance.
Found
Even
a
if
guy-
you're a legal grower and like a medicinal grower and producer or whatever, unless that other person has a card, a medical card or whatever that you're sending it to, oof, fuck.
And they still can't deposit any of their money into a bank. I'll tell you what, whoever scraps together that,
that's
how
how
Kickstarter campaign to start a bank for the weed dispensaries is
That's-
going to be a billionaire if they can pull it off.
But that's why the cryptos took off like a rocket. That's how
Right.
they're doing it all is through crypto now.
But I mean, the problem is you get all these people coming in and paying cash. So they're saddled with $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a week in profit in cash bills that they can't deposit anywhere.
Well, that's why they start going around and buying up all kinds of real estate and shit.
Exactly what they're doing because the federal government is coming down on them. So I said the person who starts a bank that allows for that would be the shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't get a VA loan, a mortgage, if you work for a dispensary. If your income, even if you're a W-2 employee and you work for a legal dispensary, you are still not allowed to use your VA benefits if that's the source of income you're using to qualify.
That's
now, if you
so
get
much
VA disability
shit,
and you can qualify that way, sure. But you can't use any of your W-2 money, even from a legal dispensary.
That's total bullshit.
It's federal because it's against the federal law, and VA is a federal entity.
Well, see,
Do you
that's the
guys?
deal
What? Go ahead.
That's the deal around here. You know, when we legalize medical here, you know, we got our own state bank in North Dakota. We've got the only state bank in the whole United States up here.
Mm-hmm.
And a bunch of people suggested to our state bank, you know, let's legalize it up here and use the state bank and put the money in our state bank.
It'll help your reserves.
Yeah, and our state bank came out and said, no, we're not going to be doing that. So
They can't. They can't. I mean, it's still, they rely, it's FDI insured. I mean, if you walk into that state bank, I'll bet it still says FDI and FDIC insured.
Mm-hmm.
Probably does. It's in Bismarck.
Right. So, I mean, you could say, if it was a state bank, it would say it was insured by somebody else.
I know they say that the economy could collapse, but our state could still keep running. We'd still have a banking system.
Mm-hmm.
I think that in order to be called a
FDIC insured,
backed
by the full faith and credit of the U.S. government.
Well, see, in order to be called a bank, you have to jump through some certain federal hoops, and that's where the whole bank and credit union came in. You know, there was credit unions too and I think there still is for, you know.
Well, we're insured by NCUA. Yeah. Our signs on
What's up, Angus?
the branches say NCUA and not FDIC.
Wow. See, I can't believe that some of these, you know, big hotshot billionaires haven't got together and figured out this whole cannabis grower thing. And
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I think cannabis stocks, if you're brave enough to get into cannabis stocks,
we'll go outside.
I think those could be the next AOLs. I mean, or the next Yahoo or Amazons. I mean, there's certain medical things out there that you should be able to invest in now that in 5 years, I think you'd be worth a lot if you could get the right ones.
Well, there's that one in Canada, you know, that's running it up there, the big growing company, and they're like one of the top 5 growing companies in America, and they're worth billions of dollars.
I think there's money there. I think
they
money to be had.
You know, they put out weed all over Canada. They're going to be helping out with Mexico. They've already bid for that.
Sorry, had to go let the dog out.
You know, so there's all kinds of money to be made in that market. You know, it's just going to be interesting, you know, if they're going to get any kind of legislation passed this year, and if any of like this new attorney general Barr that they want to make attorney general, you know, if he's against weed like Sessions was, you know, it all depends on the new attorney general fucking stands on all this.
Yeah. You know, if you're uneducated on weed now, then there's something wrong with you, man. Everybody's walking around with a fucking computer in their pocket. If you're not up to speed on what's actually going on, and you're still living off your beliefs, then there's something wrong with you. And let's talk about laws for a second. You guys know what a law is, right? It's a bunch of hoity-toity fuckheads on Capitol Hill that got together and decided to agree on something and write it down on a piece of paper. That's all a law is. It's just it's a fucking opinion. It's somebody's opinion that they put down on a piece of paper. So, meh. I wasn't asked.
Well,
they didn't ask my opinion.
You know, I'll smoke it either way. No matter.
Yeah, I will too.
Know,
I will too.
Like I said, we got medical passed here, and you know, a lot of people know what I've been through. You know, for past couple of years. You know, they're taking applications now in North Dakota. Our first dispensary hasn't opened yet, and they're already 2 years behind. And I suppose they're saying the first dispensary is going to open up sometime next month. Is what they're saying.
Yeah.
And that's going to be here where I live. But the deal is you can't find a doctor that will sign off on it. I've talked to 3 different doctors. They've gone through all my file, and they all agree I meet the conditions, but not any of them want to put in for me.
Same down
not
here.
any of them.
Same down here in Arkansas. They legalized it last year, but nothing's open yet. Nothing. You know, there's some people
Our
selling.
first one is opening up in a month over in Portsmouth.
You know,
Right
some
by
of
the Naval Hospital.
The gas stations and pawn shops and shit are selling CBD oil things on their fucking little display. You know, that's just crap. But
Well, see, you can't even sell
gotta
CBD oil here yet because it's still considered illegal until the first dispensary opens. Then we'll allow it. But right now, they've raided 2 stores in our capital in Bismarck for selling CBD oil.
All the lawmakers and shit got to get their family involved in it before they'll start opening anything. You know, they got to get all their family involved. Here, you guys go open the first dispensaries. That's the way it's going. You know, everybody has to put in a fucking application and then be approved. And fuck you.
And then you can't buy a gun once you get a medical. Once you join up with medical, I know here in North Dakota, you can't go out and buy a gun. You can't do it.
And again, I look at him and I say, fuck you and your law. You know, just because you don't think I should, fuck you. Yeah.
You know, you can drink all you want and be able to buy a gun, but you can't smoke weed and buy a gun.
I can't believe people just sit back and let this crap happen. You know what I mean? Oh, they said that I couldn't have a gun no more because I smoked pot. That's what they said.
Nope.
Are you 5?
You know, this is a big hunting state. A lot of our hunters are pissed off because, you know, a lot of them could use the benefits of the marijuana. And the state told them, it's either your hunting rifle or weed. Pick one.
Our governor's getting ready to change it to where you can only buy 1 handgun a month again.
Just like in California.
It used to be like that.
Just like in California.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just did that in California too. And I think Oregon's getting ready to pass some stupid shit up there too. I don't know. I have to ask somebody.
Yeah. And they were trying for a 3-day wait period or something like that too, even for shotguns.
Fucking stupid people, man.
I don't know. I mean, I don't have a problem. I mean, I'm not going to buy more than 1 a month. But the people that are against it are like, look, if you 1 gun a month, I mean, people are still going to get them. They're just going to go get them on the black market. And then you have one less way to trace it, one less person registered.
Yeah. Tammy said it too. Not only when you get the medical marijuana card, not only are you no longer able to purchase weapons, but they come take the ones that you already got.
Yeah.
Well, they got to know you have one first.
Well, that's true too. But I guarantee you, as soon as that fucking card comes in the mail, you're going to get a knock on the door. Some jackass in a fucking FBI jacket going, hey, you got issued this card. We need to search your property, make sure you don't have any firearms or anything.
Well, see, that's it. In the North Dakota, and one we just passed, a health board worker can come to your house anytime they want with a 24-hour notice if you get medical marijuana.
Yeah.
Not happening here, Jack.
Not happening here. That's what I said. It ain't happening here. Once they talk too long, too, I can't find a doctor to sign off on. They're all scared of the government.
We're from the federal government. We need to speak to Dave.
And 3,
Dave's not here.
3, I'll just, whatever. I'll go to the guy in the corner, I guess, to get it.
And that's the alternative, So, I mean, you do it legally or you guys go into an alley somewhere and do it. Kind of exaggerating, but
with a coat hanger.
Exactly.
That's to the point, I mean, it's stupid. They've got to add all this extra bullshit to something that God put on this planet.
Hey, man, but if you want a prescription for Oxycontin or Adderall or whatever, they'll write that shit all day long.
Right to vote, too, because you obviously can't make rational decisions stoned. So.
Oh, please. There's studies out now that prove that driving while high, you pay more attention to what's going on around you.
The expert on CBS Evening News tonight with Jeff Glor would disagree with you because he's funding a study to, trying to figure out how do you bust these people. All these people are admitting to driving while very high, but there's no test that you can administer out in the field for them. So they're like, it's a crisis.
It's a crisis.
It's a crisis.
Is that the same jackass that shot the AR and fucking about peed himself?
I don't know, but he was on the evening news tonight, calling it a crisis. Because, I got to watch my CNN and everything else, find out what's going on in the world.
Back when I was a younger man driving a semi, the state of Ohio, I don't know if anything's changed now or not, but the state of Ohio would never move their speed limit off 55 for semis. Never. because the governor's daughter-in-law or some shit was in an accident with a semi, and the semi was going a little too fast and bumped her off the road and blah, 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 blah. So that pissed the governor off, and the governor would never budge off that fucking speed limit. To the point where trucks used to go around Ohio, or they would fuel up in Indiana or Pennsylvania and drive all the way through Ohio and skip his fucking state and leave no tax revenue.
I just drove through Ohio. I don't remember seeing a different sign for truckers.
Yeah. Well, maybe they changed it. I don't know. That's been eons ago, dude. So I'm just saying, political shit, you know, your fucking opinion, I couldn't give two squirts of piss about your opinion. Not you specifically, Lance. Although certain things you kind of irritate me on, but you know.
That's all right. That's all right.
I'm talking about government officials.
They're there.
Yeah. Hey, we still fucking jamming right along, man. We only got like 35 minutes left. It's incredible.
I got a question for Dave. Had you brought up China? I was off for the first 20 minutes. My daughter's boyfriend showed up. Did you mention anything about that? Because I kind of wanted to get Dave's opinion on that. You know, I didn't even know they had an army until a month ago. I mean, I knew they've had an army, but with all the shit that you're seeing now on RT and how they're mass mobilizing and their leader had them prepare for war over this Taiwan shit. I mean, I don't see how that army doesn't outnumber us by like 4 to 1.
Well, they do have a bigger army than us. They almost got like a 2 million man army. We got like 1 million.
If that, I mean, it's like 300,000 in the army, and that's the largest branch, I thought.
You know, the deal is, yeah, we've got a bigger military, you know, per se, but the deal is they've got some real technological advances on their side too. You know, they've got some killer weapons. You know, and it comes down to it, they got nukes like we do, so it evens them up right there.
Well, it looks like they're effectively trying to kill our economy by the dollar. I mean,
oh yeah, they are. You know, this came out talking about that, right? I'll read this right now. This came out just a couple minutes ago out of Reuters. It says, running out of reasons to rally, U.S. dollar set to slip. It says the U.S. dollar's rally is largely over, according to about 2/3 of currency strategists polled by Reuters, who said a dialing back of rate hike expectations has diminished the greenback's edge over its peers. It says, after racking up its best performance last year since 2015, the dollar has lost momentum in recent weeks as the Federal Reserve signaled fewer interest rate hikes over the next 2 years and expressed caution over the U.S. economic outlook. And it says the January 2nd through the 9th poll of 75 analysts showed the dollar is now forecast to give up most of its 2018 gains over the coming 12 months, hurt by a U.S. economy expected to lose steam as the year progresses. It says the dollar index gained over 4% last year. It says basically the dollar has run out of things to make it go higher. So the currency strategist out of Wells Fargo. It says the Fed has told us they're probably at or near a point where they're going to pause interest rate hikes. And we forecast the boost we saw to U.S. growth last year is definitely going to fade. Those two factors that were really supportive last year are fading, so I don't see what's going to be sort of a cyclical driver of the dollar's strength from here on out.
The interest rate's only like 1.5%, man. What the fuck? These people,
that's how messed up our economy is.
I know, but 20 trillion, that's because we're at $20 trillion. So 2% of $20 trillion will choke your fucking ass, right? You know, what about back in the day? I remember back in the 70s when the interest rate was 12%. People would die right now. They'd be diving out of fucking windows and shit. That's ridiculous, man. This is all because of relentless printing of money. Nobody said fuck all for the 8 years Obama was in office and the Fed kept the rate at 0. Sorry, had to rant a little bit.
I mean, at the about around Thanksgiving, interest rate for a 30-year fix was around 5.25%, and I think today it's 4.75. So I mean, 3/8 to 0.5% is what it's moved in the last 45 days.
Hang on a second. I got something from Sandy. This is from back in 2005. Now, this is from rents.com. So, this is like it says the following is actual text of a speech delivered in December of 2005 by Comrade Chi Ho-chan, the vice chairman of China's military commission to top officers and generals. Keep in mind that China has for many years advocated deceitful and covert warfare against its enemies. This is their modus operandi. There should be little question that if bird flu pandemic would deeply excite them, don't forget how they have poisoned thousands of American pets and knowingly placed lead paints on toddlers' toys. So here it is. I'm not going to read this whole thing, pretty sure. But comrades, I'm very excited today because the large-scale online survey Cena.com that was done for us showed that our next generation is quite promising and our party's cause will be carried on. In answering the question, will you shoot at women, children, and prisoners of war, more than 80% of the respondents answered in the affirmative, exceeding by far our expectations. That's just the first paragraph of it. Sandy, if you want to drop that link in the chat for everybody else you guys can go read that on your own if you feel like it. So, yeah, 80% of the people over there would say, "Yeah, no problem. Shoot them in the face." And I'm sure that the same would be said here. You know, if there was an invasion of the United States, I'm pretty much guaranteeing you that most of the folks that live around here in the mountains would shoot a motherfucker in a heartbeat trying to come onto their property. So there you go. Go ahead. Anybody?
Well, China. This is some little bit more stuff on China that came out today that maybe Lance wants to know. It says China activated its ship killer Dongfeng missiles after U.S. Navy buzzes disputed islands. It says China has activated its ship killer Dongfeng ballistic missiles after U.S. Navy traveled within 12 nautical miles of the parcel islands to challenge excessive maritime claims and preserve access to the waterways as governed by international law. So China moved its carrier killer missiles, is what these are. These each one can sink a carrier, and they've moved these to these little dotted islands now, where our ships, drop the sail by every so often to prove that we're still king of the world. And
they just did that a couple days ago, actually.
Yeah, and that's what they're talking about. China said in response to that, we've moved out our carrier killers now to these islands. Try doing it again and see what happens.
Yeah, because they said they take down 2 of our carriers.
Yeah.
We're crippled.
Yep.
We are.
Yeah, because they've relied too much on ancient technology. Because, I mean, really, in modern warfare, an aircraft carrier is ancient technology. With the missiles that you can fire from so far away right now, I mean, they've invested trillions in that, where the Chinese have gone a different route.
The Chinese just unveiled a working railgun, too.
Yep.
So while we spent like $30 billion or something trying to perfect ours and it never fucking worked, theirs does. If you guys don't know what a railgun is, go look up that technology. That's something to see. So, and I think Russia's unveiling a bunch of new technology too, weapon-wise. Hypersonic missiles that can scoot across the planet in no time whatsoever and knock a hole in your coffee pot. So, yeah, that's some things to worry about too. See, they don't worry about fucking... never mind. I'm not going to get into another rant. We're almost out of time. Got any more headlines over there? David?
What else they got here?
Lance, did you want to do weather and sports or anything? Or
First bit of snow will be coming in this Saturday, I think. I got a snowblower, so I'm safe.
You bought a snowblower?
Fuck yeah, I did.
Wow.
We got 10 inches of snow here last year, and we're snowed in for 3 days.
Wow.
I mean, I couldn't get out of the driveway. The way the wind was blowing, it was 4 feet around the door. I mean, it was 10 inches of snow, but the drifts were 4 feet around the door. So nice. I bought me a snowblower this year.
Nice.
I got a pretty good one I use.
Yeah, I'd imagine you have to have one since you have snow.
Yeah, out here they're as important as a lawnmower.
8 months out of the year.
You don't have just a lawnmower up here; you have a snowblower to go along with it.
We did our polar bear run on January 5th. We did our polar bear run, and it was 72 degrees that day.
Yeah, it's not very polar bearish.
Well, last year it was like 15. So, yeah, it kind of varies. That's what I love about living
here
in the
right
South.
now.
No, thanks.
It's like a whopping 5 degrees. And that's what
it was 70 degrees here on Monday, and it'll be like a high of, I don't know, 35 or 40 tomorrow with a 20-mile-an-hour wind, so it'll feel like 25.
I got up this morning with the wind. It felt like the almost 20-some below zero.
It was 60 yesterday, and they're calling for an inch or so of snow by Friday. So but I love living in the South because you get snow and cold for 2 or 3 days, and then it's gone.
Exactly.
It's gone. It goes back up to 40.
Winter's like 7 months up here almost.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, they don't have a border around your state. You're allowed to leave.
Yeah, you can't keep them fucking Canadians out with all that snow and shit.
We got drones that patrol that son of a bitch like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah. They used to fly across the fucking border in ultralights and shit. Back in the day, they didn't even give a shit, Be out in the middle of the woods, take off from a landing strip and fly. Oh, shit, we're in the U.S. We better turn around.
Yep.
About the only way.
How far am I from the border? I'm probably about hour and a half, 2 hours.
So that's 120 miles.
Yeah, something like that. No, I've never been to Canada, though. I've lived here for 30 years now, and I've never been to Canada.
My parents went on that RV trip. When my dad retired last May, they bought an RV and went to Alaska for 6 weeks. And he took his 9mm with him, and they crossed into Canada somewhere. I can't remember, to take the trek across Canada over to Alaska.
The Alcan
and
Highway.
they confiscated his gun and made him come back through that port of entry so he could get it back when he came back 3 weeks later.
Man.
I'll bet
you could have applied for a permit to bring it into the country, but it takes like 6 or 8 weeks to get, apparently.
Yeah, sometimes if you've got a lockbox and you can lock it in a box and put it in another part of the vehicle or whatever, sometimes they'll let you pass through with them, but not
anymore.
Usually long guns.
They would not let you in with a weapon.
I think it's handgun, though, because there's a lot of hunters that go through there with their long guns and stuff, and they just put them in a steel case in the back.
They get permits before they go. It's part of the hunting trip. They fill out the paperwork and give it to them and let them know that they're bringing it in, and then it gives them time to do their checks and everything. But you can't even take a shotgun in because, we checked on it.
I know sometimes they'll send them UPS, too. They'll ship them up there and then get them when they're up there. You can't take handguns through Canada unless they are sealed, said Sandy.
Well, his wasn't. So, it was a 9mm, a 45, because he just wanted it in case they ran into a bear or something like that up in Alaska.
I'll bet they ran all kinds of ballistics on that weapon when Canada had hold of it.
Probably. He got it back.
You come back through here. You come back through here and get your gun.
Driving, down through California and Arizona on the way back, but they had to come back through that same port in Canada to get his gun back.
Hell yeah. $700 gun. Fuck yeah. I do.
Probably, yeah.
You got any outstanding stories or anything, Lance, that you want to drop on people? Stuff that's gotten your attention over the last few weeks or months that we haven't done any shows?
Nah, probably, but I just can't think of anything. I've just been chilling. Chilling.
You shocked at the stock market losing all them points over the last couple of weeks?
Not really. Didn't we expect it? Shit, I fully expected it back in 2013. I was looking at
the thing that I'm shocked about.
Going back and played our recordings from 2013, mind you. Nobody, every single person from us Manarino. What, I don't even know if he's still doing internet.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, every single one of them fully expected the market to tank, and it still hasn't. It's gone up for 10 solid years straight.
Yep.
10 solid years. First time ever. I mean, it's unheard of.
When it broke 20,000, we were all like, "Holy fuck, man!"
Yeah, and then 25.
How far
it's
can
all
these people push
artificial
this?
anyway.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Manarino's still out there. He's still shocked as
Somebody's
hell.
making a ton of money off of this.
It's the transfer of wealth. I mean, we've been talking about that forever too. It's the transfer of wealth from all you stupid fucking people that decide to play in the stock market to the motherfuckers that own the stock market. You know what I mean? So that's I don't even like getting into it, man. And the thing that shocked me about the hit on the stock market is that gold and silver didn't do a damn thing. They just kind of sat flat, you know?
Right.
And cryptos tanked with the stock market.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of shocking. It's like nobody knew. And that's how you know that the people that are in charge are the ones taking all the money out. You know, because they're like, fuck cryptos. I've already got my gold and silver. Let's go buy some real estate, or let's go buy an island, or maybe I need another yacht, or those are the motherfuckers that, you know what I mean? You don't see that money pop up anywhere else. So that's how you know it's the people cashing out.
Oh, I mean, the smart ones are cashing out now.
Yep.
And then when it crashes, they'll buy it all over again. And then just wait a few years for it to rise
the stocks
again,
are worth,
and then cash out again.
Yeah.
That's
if the stocks are worth a
shit.
shit. If the stocks are worth a shit. Yeah. You're going to see huge companies go under when this whole thing goes tits up. You're going to see huge fucking banks. I can't believe Deutsche Bank hasn't closed its doors yet. The stock price is under $4. It's unbelievable that they're still open.
Yeah, they're going to need a bailout again. So
Shit,
it'll be
they're not getting no bailout.
Interesting to see what happens.
Even the IMF said they aren't going to bail them out.
Well, that's what they said, but you know.
Yeah. We'll see.
I mean, Greece used to be a big story every 2 weeks about them going bankrupt, and you can't tell me they're still not going bankrupt. But I mean, nobody talks about it.
But
they obviously gave them the money.
Well, that's true. But Deutsche Bank is Germany's largest bank. It's one of the European Union's largest banks.
Yeah, with all the gold and everything else.
Yeah, Greece could fall off into the ocean and it's not going to affect the economy of the world. If Deutsche Bank goes under, it's going to affect the economy of the world. They have $65 trillion in unfunded liabilities.
Yeah, it's like the Lehman Brothers.
No, it's like Lehman times 1,000.
2008.
It's like Lehman times 1,000. It's like Bear Stearns times 10,000.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But that's a huge thing. And, you know, there's just a couple of weeks ago, I was listening to people talk about it because their stock was getting ready to touch $5. And they're like, well, you know, if it goes below $5, I don't see anything good. It's been below $5 for a while now. And they're still just plugging right along. I mean, it blows me away.
You just got to lower the bar every time. That's all.
The manipulation just blows me away. The people blow me away that they're not going, what the fuck is going on? You know, that's what blows me away. The people that are in the bank that still have their stock holdings in the bank, that still have their funds in the bank, those people aren't going, what the fuck are you people doing? That's what blows me away. The complete apathy blows me away to everything that's going on. You guys want to dip into a rabbit hole for just a second? What the fuck with the pedophilia being pushed on what the fuck, man? Who is this? Desmond is amazing. They had this little fucking 12-year-old on Good Morning America. Little trans kid. Seen a videotape of him on YouTube sitting on the couch with some transvestite talking about doing GHB. He's 12 years old. Why is that video even online? Why is the person sitting next to him on the couch not in prison for child abuse? What the fuck is going on in this country that's being allowed? I would like some comments from you, David, and from you, Lance, because I know you guys have seen this. It's been everywhere.
Well, yeah, you got that Kevin Spacey facing 5 years now.
Mm-hmm. And the way he was looking in court, I don't know if you guys saw, I put the body language ghost video up on him. I put that up on YouTube. I don't know, or on Facebook, if you guys caught that. He just looks like a creepy fucking, nah. But I want to get back to this pedophilia thing with this Desmond is amazing. Have you seen this cat? Have you seen this little kid?
I barely.
I haven't.
I don't know anything about it.
I don't either.
I'm sure there's comments there's comments in the chat about it too. He's 12. They had him. He's going around the country now on tour in gay bars. And they're having him, he's not stripping because that would be illegal, right? He's just going around showing himself off in his little dresses and stuff with his makeup on, and they're tucking dollars in his fucking pants.
Isn't that illegal?
He's not undressed, so I don't know if they're skirting the law or what they're. This is child abuse, man. To even have him going around the country on tour as a trans kid, to me, is child abuse. You know,
those parents should be shot. That or thrown in prison.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I've been catching wind of it, and I saw the videotape of him on Good Morning America, and Strahan, this big muscle-bound, dumb fucking football player, just talking to him like he's normal, congratulating him on his awards he's winning, and for being the hoo-ah, trans kid or whatever the fucking day, or I don't know what the fuck, but for Strahan to just he's Strahan. I used to admire his football ability and all the things that he's done in the sports world, and now he's sucking that corporate dick. I don't know, man. I don't know. We've been talking, Lance, how long have we been saying this world's upside down? Since we started on radio? Since we started doing a show?
Oh, yeah.
We've been telling everybody how upside down the world is?
Upside down.
Upside down. Upside down. Everything that's evil is being perpetrated as good. Just shocking. Absolutely makes me want to vomit.
It's these fantastic role models in Hollywood that people look up to. They emulate them.
They've been brainwashed, man. I mean, it's the shit in the food, but here's the thing though, man. If you can wake up to it, if I can wake up to it, if Dave can wake up to it, if I don't know how many people are in chat because I can't tell how many people are in chat, but if those people can wake up to what's going on and see it, why can't everybody else? Why are they that void of critical thinking any longer? Have they become that? I don't know, man. I don't know. Are they just drones? Are they inhuman?
Well, what I don't get is the Catholic Church. I mean, they just came out and there's 1,000 more priests or something. And I'm like, dude, how in the fuck does this organization even exist? If this would have happened in any company in the world, they would be shut down and run out of. I mean, that's humiliating.
There would be people
horrible.
In prison.
How does this organization even still exist?
How about
because of willful, blind ignorance?
How about the $17 million or something, or 70 million? I can't remember what the exact figure is, but the Senate and Congress their little fund that they've paid out of their pockets, or not their pockets, out of our tax money for sexual assault charges against them too. And most of them are still sitting, senators and congressmen, and it's just this is why. Not gonna rant. I only got 10 minutes. I can't do it. Can't rant. Only got 10 minutes. Couldn't squeeze it in. Sorry. Go ahead, David. I gotta laugh at it, man. I gotta laugh at it because otherwise,
I live in North Dakota. Right next to us is Minnesota, and they've been putting out their new, state legislator and everything, their new agenda for the year.
Aren't they the ones that swore somebody in on a Koran?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they got a bill out here.
Thomas Jefferson's Koran. And I'm not joking. That was real.
Yeah, that's what they said.
What the fuck ever. Fuck.
But anyway, they put out they're putting out a bunch of different bills here, like it's called Minnesota Care Buy-In. Their Minnesota Care, basically their own state health insurance. Gun control. And this is what they're going for gun control. It says, let me find it here. Right here. It says, expanding, it says requiring universal background checks for firearm purchases. Another proposal would allow family or friends to call for a gun owner's firearms to be removed if the person appeared to pose a danger to himself or others. It's this red flag laws that every state's. This is the way they're coming after people's guns.
Yeah, they can do that. They can do that anyway, though. I mean, there doesn't have to be a red flag law.
And it can be an anonymous one, too.
Some Joey bag of donuts.
Their own file.
Yeah, they don't even have to be in your fucking state, right? They can just call your sheriff's department and say, oh, man, there's this cat over. See, if they got your address, you're fucked. They can swat you from anywhere in the world. This dude's holding hostages and he lives at blah, 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 blah. In 5 minutes, you're going to have a fucking buttload of cars coming up your driveway and people kicking your door.
Well, yeah, that gamer got killed on live stream.
Last week. Just last week, I think
there was one last year, too.
Well, the black kid, the black guy that coming up to the door, and they shot him on his fucking front porch. That was just a week, or maybe they just released the body cam footage. But yeah, whatever. They didn't even give him, they keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. That was it. The whole video of him getting murdered was 12 seconds. Some of these kids got caught for doing that shit, though, and they're facing time for it. There's been a couple of the swatting things that got caught on live, on video that are up on YouTube. You can go find it on YouTube. Kids sitting there playing a fucking game and cops run in behind him. You can see them coming through the door with their guns drawn and shit. And he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's what I mean. And one of them guys got killed last year.
Yeah. Well, the one I'm talking about, this
famous live streamer.
Yeah. The one I'm talking about, this kid wasn't even a gamer. He just got in a beef with somebody, and they called on his fucking house and said that he had his family held hostage. Yeah, and he came to the door. He was standing on the front porch with his hands up like this, and they pumped him right in his fucking heart from across the street because they said he was making a move for his gun. But he didn't have a gun. Oh, but he was making a move for his waistband. You were across the street. If he had a handgun, he couldn't have shot you anyway. Very, very... well, you know what I mean? If you get out past 10 yards, it's hard to hit a motherfucker with a handgun if they're moving. So, whatever. But the cops get away with it, man. Every time. They'll shoot your dog. Well, I guess
they shot that Chihuahua the other day.
Yeah, he got fired. He actually got fired because the chief was like, that's bullshit. So I think he was down here in Arkansas, too, just a couple counties over from here.
Well, their propensity of the Chihuahua, they're known to be deadly. So
to your ankle.
Exactly.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, you think it's like the fucking deadly rabbit off of Monty Python or something, like the thing can jump up and rip its throat out.
Exactly.
Yeah, whatever.
But, I mean, it's not like he couldn't have just kicked it either, so.
Right? It's not like you can't just kick any dog.
Or stood on something. It's not like them fuckers can jump.
If it's on the other side of a fence, you got no business shooting the dog anyway, just because it's coming at the fence aggressively. If there's nothing between you and the dog, then maybe I can give you a go ahead and shoot it. But if there's something between you and the dog, you got no business shooting the dog.
Chihuahua, even if there's nothing between you and the dog, I think you could probably kick it.
Yeah, get back in your fucking squad car until the guy comes over and picks his dog up. You know what I mean?
Or reach down and pick it up and then hold it by its waist.
Yeah, just hold it out and go, hey, cut it out. Knock it off.
Hold it by the scruff of its neck or something.
Right, here's a piece of beef jerky. Now shut up and go lay down. David, we got 5 minutes left, man. You got any last-minute headlines you want to throw out at everybody? Anything you want to get off your chest? I don't know if we're going to do one of these next week. We'll have to see.
Iran came out today and said that they're holding a U.S. Navy veteran hostage. Said they arrested him.
He's been there for a while, too, yeah? They got him on treason?
He's been there for, since
He went and visited his girlfriend, right? Something like that. That was on the news this morning, yeah.
Went and visited his girlfriend. They arrested him and threw him in prison.
Yeah, they picked him up for treason.
And so, that's going to be interesting how they said they got 4 Americans in captivity now in Iran.
Yeah.
And Obama didn't do shit about them. Don't look like Trump's trying to get them loose either.
Obama can give them 1.6 trillion or something like that.
Yeah, we gave him the money to let, they made our fucking sailors apologize for getting captured.
3 C-130s full of cash. That's a lot of fucking cash.
Well, then, there's unconfirmed reports today that Iran's dropping completely out of the nuclear deal, the JCPOA, now that they're still in, the one Trump dropped out of, but they were still having to go with Europe. And now they're saying that Europe's not satisfying them fast enough, so they're going to drop out, which means they're going to start enriching that higher grade uranium, which in turn is going to twist Israel's titties up and get them all going.
They've been enriching uranium for 20 plus years. And they've never once built a bomb. So I don't know what Iran, I don't know what them having nuclear energy has to do with anything. You know what I mean? Just because Israel doesn't like it, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? Until they develop a bomb, as rich as they are with fuel, you would think that if they wanted to have a bomb, they could have one anyway. Regardless of whether they built it themselves or not. If they wanted to buy one on the black market, if they wanted to buy one from Russia, I'm sure Russia would sell them one. If they wanted to buy one from China, I'm sure China would sell them a nuclear weapon, no problem, because they've got that kind of relationship. So to worry about them enriching uranium for nuclear energy, that's a tit for tat thing. That's like the Israeli-Palestinian war. Been hearing about it since I was a kid. Old hat. Find something else to be a boogeyman about. That's my take on it anyway. They've never built a bomb. They've never had a nuclear weapon. They've never tested a fucking nuclear weapon. I don't even think they've tested a long-range missile. I'm not saying that they don't fund terrorism all over the planet, because I'm sure they do. But so do we. So, what's the deal?
I don't like them because my government tells me not to like them.
Yeah, that's the way everybody thinks.
Exactly. Same with Russia.
I don't like them. I don't like anybody because they tell me that it's not cool to like certain people.
We don't like you because you're brown people. We're going to bomb you because you're brown.
I've been trying to post my positive stuff on my regular Facebook page, and
right.
Just, I'm trying to find a fine line, the news I still do, I just don't let it get to me. I look at the story, I post it, and I move on. The news is the news, man. I'm all about positivity now and love, man.
Yeah, I see all your memes. I see all your memes that you're making.
I just want people to get along these days. That's all. And it ain't liberal, hippie, tree-hugging shit. It's just the truth. Enough of the fighting, man. People just
handing out a bouquet of flowers. Yeah, just handing out a bouquet of flowers every day. Just, hey, here, have a flower.
I'm just trying to spread a little bit of fucking peace, man. And it's, you go to Facebook, and I got sick of being on Facebook and seeing nothing but political post after political post after political.
Yeah, I'm glad the election's over.
So now I'm posting just positive messages and quotes instead. I'm like, you can say what you want about, people can have their I post my political stuff in my group. And so a person chooses whether that, if they want to see everything that I want to post. I don't want to post that stuff on my personal page.
Yeah. But it shows up on my fucking feed, man.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'll keep it in my group, but I'm not going to have it on my personal page. You want to be a member of my group and see my political opinions and stuff, then join my group. If you don't want to see my political stuff, then don't join my group, but you can still be my friend and not see the political stuff.
All right. Well, unfortunately, you have to shut up now because we're out of time. It's 10 o'clock.
I don't have nothing else to say.
Okay. I think we'll go ahead and schedule one of these for next Wednesday just because that'll give Charlie a week to try to get his shit straight. Because it was just a couple days for him to try to get his shit straight, and he couldn't do it. But he's the one that talked me into doing the show, so we'll schedule one of these for next week.
This is staying up an hour and a half past my bedtime.
I don't care. You have to. It's one day a week. Yeah. You can suck it up, Buttercup. So everybody plan on this next week. Try to bring your friends and family. It's educational, that kind of shit. So with that being said, thank you, David, for showing up.
Yeah, I've seen you guys.
Yeah, thanks, Lance.
Yeah, man, you too.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll get Charlie in here next week. Everybody, like I said, on Facebook, everybody that has him on their friends list, give him a bunch of shit over the week.
You want to follow me on Twitter? It's Endgame WW3 at Twitter.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead and throw that in the room, man. Throw that link in the room, in the chat. So you can follow him on Twitter. Lance follows him on Twitter, so it must be hot.
I follow both of them. That's how I get all my news.
Well, yeah, but I don't hardly tweet anymore because they don't post my shit on Facebook like they should.
There's my link to my Twitter, so.
Right on.
Well, I'm not getting on Facebook, so that won't be happening.
Then you can find, once you get on my Twitter, you can find my Discord server too, where I got one of the biggest Discord newsrooms there is online, I think.
Oh shit, I gotta get on that. I didn't know about that.
Oh yeah, I got bots in there retrieving news. I got everything.
Oh fucking A. All right.
It's like a news emporium.
Very cool. All right, I'm hanging up on you guys now so I can play music.
All right.
Leave
Peace and later.
Take care.
Cheese and rice, everybody. Bye. All right. So, like I said, next week, we'll plan on doing this shit again and try to give Charlie a chance to get hooked up because I miss talking to that fucker, too. He's kind of cool. So, with that being said, everybody, you know how I end it? I forgot how I started it. I was like thinking, what am I supposed to do? Okay, I got it. Music and then point, and I got it. Love, peace, and cookies, everybody. See you next week. Shh.
She's gone wild into the night time. You and I, we love living in love and want you here to be with me. There's no other choice for me. She can light my way, and her kisses, oh, she loved my tone. She whispered words only she can say, and in the morning know that we have sung. Gonna live this life together. Now I need you more than ever. It's the